All righty, and so we have really an amazing honor to have Dr. Soni Cantrell-Smith, who is the spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living. As people know, that we're like sister communities. Some people think we're part of them, but we're separate nonprofits. And so we're just so grateful for the support of Centers for Spiritual Living. For so long, we work so well together. We collect the history, they get the present in the world, and then the Science Mom Foundation works towards the future. So it's just a lovely past, present, future within that as well. So just want to invite Dr. Soni up here.
Thanks, Kathy. Thank you so much. I know I don't have a lot of time, so I cut this down to 45 minutes. How y'all doing? Good, good, great. Well, we're here for a special occasion, and hearing Ernest's voice, Dr. Holmes' voice for that prayer, I got a little teary-eyed, as I often do when I'm listening to him. But today we stand in the presence of something both sacred and extraordinary, don't we? We're here to witness the opening of a space and also consecrate a moment in time. The grand opening of the Science of Mind archives, as we saw, is a ceremonial ribbon cutting. And it is also the unveiling of a spiritual time capsule, a temple of wisdom, a love letter to humanity from the heart of our teaching. As a spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living, I feel a deep sense of humility and joy in welcoming all of you to this celebration. Because this is a day to honor our foundation and launch us into the future. A future built on consciousness, clarity, and commitment. First, consciousness. These archives are a collective memory. They are the written echo of our spiritual mind treatments, revelations, and study that have shaped and sustained our movement. And within these walls, both physical and digital, live the words of Ernest Holmes and the souls who stood with him and after him, carrying the torch of a new thought and new thought times of social change, global awakening, and personal transformation. Ernest Holmes said, "We should think of the universe as flowing, streaming, moving, and alive, awake, and aware." That is what this archive is. It's not static. It's not a museum. It is an alive and streaming movement of consciousness captured in ink and paper, in sermons and notes, in teachings that still pulse with relevance today. Clarity. When Holmes first penned The Science of Mind, I'm certain that he probably didn't imagine that almost a century later, we would be gathered like this, digitalizing, preserving, and sharing his life's work on a scale he could only possibly think about. But what he did imagine, and what he was very clear on, was the infinite potential of the mind and the unstoppable power of an idea whose time has come. He wrote, "There is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it." That is the heart of our teaching, and this archive is a testament to that power which moves through the pens, the voices, the treatments, the publications, and the communities who carry these teachings forward with vision and with faith. The Science of Mind archives is about what has been and also about what is becoming, which brings me to my third point. commitment. We are in a moment of spiritual evolution. The world around us is crying out for unity, for healing, for wisdom that unites us. People are seeking something real, something rooted and alive, something ancient but fresh. And what we have, what lives in the pages of these archives, is exactly that. And let me be clear. Our global vision is a powerful statement of values, and it is a map for planetary transformation. It says we envision a world that works for everyone. It says we see a world in which every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principles. It says we believe in the emergence of a global community grounded in love, connection, and respect. These archives are the evidence of our consciousness, clarity, and commitment. It is the demonstration of our journey, showing how we have walked this path from the early metaphysical circles of the 1920s to the inclusive, global, connected movement we are today. And now, with this archive accessible to all, we are placing a spiritual inheritance into the hands of the next generation of ministers, students, teachers, young people, researchers, spiritual adventurers of all kinds who can come here and drink from the well of timeless wisdom. Holmes said, "We are surrounded by a creative mind which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it." Of the impress of the thoughts of those who came before us but brought us here today. Now, all of us have an invitation to new thought, a catalyst for fresh ideas, a resource for deeper spiritual practice, a mirror reflecting the best of what we've been and the most of what we can become. The opening of this archive comes at a time when history is being rewritten or forgotten, when speed replaces depth. In that context, this archive is an act of resilience. It is a declaration that spiritual wisdom matters, that lineage matters, that the long road we've traveled holds treasures that can shape what is yet to be. And so, as we opened those doors, we also opened our hearts to an agreement to care for what has been entrusted to us, to lead with reverence, to study with joy, to teach with humility, to preserve not just the documents, but the spirit that birthed them. So let us rise to this occasion, folks. Let us go forth from this day as caretakers of this sacred repository and as activators of its content. Let the teachings leap off the page into our lives. Let the treatments inspire us to treat again and again and again. And let the stories and the sermons call us back to the altar of our own devotion. Let us also give deep thanks for all those who made this possible, the archivists, the scholars, the organizers, the donors, and the passionate volunteers. You have created something enduring, and we are forever grateful. This, my friends, is holy work. This is legacy work. This is love in form. And so to every person here, in body or in spirit, thank you. Thank you for walking this path. Thank you for believing in the power of principle. Thank you for your consciousness, your clarity, and your commitment, and for continuing to ask the question that sparked this whole journey. What if we really are one with the divine? And as we have officially opened this archive. May it be a living blessing, a sacred portal, a wellspring of truth for all who enter it. Let us walk forward together, grounded in our past, inspired by our future, and carried always on the wings of love. Peace and blessings.